You can put $1,000 into this project and lose all of them. However, I think there's a high chance that this is one of those small cap projects that could give you huge gains in a potential bull run. Yes, we're looking into Shido and they have a lot of things going for it, so let's jump right into it. Let's get the obvious out of the way. Shido is a very small cap, currently sits at around $10 million market cap, so it's a very high risk investment. It could very well go to zero or be just another shitcoin. And actually, if I remember correctly, the history of Shido is pretty much it launched as a joke, as a meme coin. So just be aware of this. Don't invest any money that you cannot afford to lose. I'm doing so, but I know also deep down you are degens and you want projects like this. So that's why I'm bringing this to your attention, because I truly believe it has some potential. Okay, so what exactly is Shido? Well, in short, it's a lot of things. They're building up a blockchain which is EVM compatible. They also have a DEX, they have perpetuals, they have a wallet, they have a card. A bunch of things are happening on this project, which on one side is great. There are a lot of great things, but also, there are some negatives as with every project. So I will jump into each one of them separately and we're going to look into them. And then I'll tell you what I see as potential for this specific project. The very first thing that I really like about this project is that they are builders. Their founder constantly does AMAs, he constantly updates what is happening in the project. And since it came up on my radar several months ago, this project has been building very, very hard. And they are currently working on a wallet, the version 3 of their wallet. I think it's a pretty good app in general, and you can do a lot of stuff within the app, but now they're implementing something unique, which they still haven't released a lot of details, but basically you will have an inbuilt DEX, a cross-chain swap, and a first ever, at least I haven't heard any of this happening anywhere else, a DeFi crypto card, which basically means that you have a digital card that you can pay stuff with and just transfer funds from a DeFi protocol to this card and then pay with it freely. And you could use this without any KYC. You can use it with KYC if you want to, with higher limits. In general, this is by itself, it's a function that is unique. And I really like where they are going. I haven't seen anyone offer this, and they claim that they are going to be using a US bank for all of this. So that would be also very interesting. And even without this, they still currently have a card that they offer, and you can order and you can do a whole lot of things with it. Yes, it has a tax. They have a free tier for 30 days. And then the minimum you pay is $7, and then there are higher tiers and so on. But you can see, all the benefits. You can obviously go to their website. I'm going to link all of this down in the description. And you have a lot of benefits, in my opinion, for what you're paying. Some people might not want to pay for a card, but if you want a good service, and obviously if you want this project to keep developing, they need to generate some revenue. And this card seems like a very interesting option compared to, for example, Crypto.com card. I remember everything there was free for quite a lot of time, and suddenly they started removing all the rewards and so on. So people got disappointed, and this is pretty straightforward from the very beginning. And honestly, I really like this concept. The next thing I like is that they have a perpetual DEX that you can trade on. Obviously, probably this is not the best DEX out there, and there's a lot of competition. However, this narrative in general is one that I'm very interested on, and here you can use up to 200x leverage. And if in general this narrative catches up, Shido is a very small player currently that could really explode when people start speculating with DEXs in the future that offer perpetual. So just keep this in mind. I haven't traded on this platform, but definitely another option that they have, that they offer, and in my opinion is very good to have in the type of environment we are right now. Another thing that we want to mention here is that on their DEX, they've added a bunch of networks. So they started with Ethereum and BNB, and now in the last several months, they've added Polygon, Avalanche, Arbitrum, and obviously it says here that they're adding Phantom, but I'm honestly not that interested into it because who really trades on Phantom these days? I don't know. I don't know why they need it. But anyway, you have a bunch of networks to choose from. Again, another great sign. And when it comes to tokenomics, again, for a meme coin that turns into a developer coin, that's a very interesting thing. They have the full supply unlocked. They also had a change of the contracts, which is something we're going to look into just a bit. But they've been very transparent with everything. So according to their website, they've burned around 80 billion tokens. So currently the circulation is around 120 billion. All of it is in circulation. They have 5% sale tax on a DEX, 0% buy tax, and all of these taxes, they go back to their liquidity pools, and they're trying to increase as much as possible their liquidity. Currently, I think they're standing at something around 1 million locked liquidity for a 10 million market cap coin. They claim it's good. Honestly, I'm not an expert in DeFi and DEXs, but definitely sounds like they're working in the right direction for this one. And on top of this, they have a staking mechanism, which you can check here. So if you buy any Shido, you can go and just stake it, and you will get returns on it. These returns are generated basically from the fees on the DEX and on the perpetuals. And if you want to stake on Ethereum, 8% APR, they have around 18 billion tokens locked here. And if we go on BNB, they have another 8% APR here. And this is not currently loading, but they have additional 25 or 26 billion locked in here. Overall, I think this is really good. And honestly, this is like 30-35% of the total supply that is staked, and they have an emergency withdrawal, which is like 5% tax. So it is discouraging people from doing this. And I believe these 8% are sustainable because their taxes on the perpetuals and on the DEX are quite high. However, you know, it's for a good cause, I would say. And if all of this wasn't enough, as you can tell, I'm quite bullish on them. They've been growing ever since I started following them. They're currently over 80,000 followers on Twitter, growing even as I'm shooting this video. They have around 10,000 downloads on their wallet. And overall, it's been a project that's been moving forward in the depths of the bear market. Keep this in mind. It's a very small cap coin developing in the bear market. So these are all signs that we all want to see when we're looking into some gems. The last major thing that they're building, and I want to show you, is actually a layer 1 network. Now, you might ask yourself, why do we need another layer 1? Honestly, I'm asking myself exactly the same question. However, this will be, you know, a very high, very cheap layer 1, and probably they're going to use it to build stuff on it and make sure they're compatible. You know, I'm not an expert on why people build blockchains, but again, it's something that they're building. And actually, there's one key feature here that I found very interesting, and it's not the carbon footprint, that they are neutral, which is great, but they're building something different with their Explorer. They claim they're going to be using AI for some of the functions within the Explorer. So potentially another reason for people to get hyped around this token once we get a bit more liquidity. However, this for me is also one of the things that I don't really like. As I mentioned, why would we need another layer 1? And if you're building so many different things and so many different projects, are you going to be able to deliver in a good quality way? For me, the answer is yes, because as you can tell, you know, I'm quite a bit bullish on this project. However, objectively, I think it's a risk. And especially with layer 1s, I think the hype cycle of layer 1s is kind of over. It was last bull market and so on. People are more like, oh, another layer 1, why do we need this? So on. So I'm not sure this will be good for them in general. We got to see how they will deliver, what they're going to be using it for, and so on, so on. But definitely one thing that is a little bit of a concern. But the other major concerns that I have is, first of all, they're not listed on that many exchanges. So Shido is a really small project. Obviously, I'm not expecting them to be listed on all the major exchanges, but currently they're pretty much trading on Uniswap, MEX, and also I think Crypto.com. And as you can see, the volumes here are insignificant, really just like 20 to 30,000 24-hour volume per day. It's it's really hard to build a significant position. And generally speaking, this wouldn't be a project that I would want to have a huge position size in it. However, if they keep delivering, I believe there's a high chance bigger players will start actually listing them. And there's been speculation here because they did like a collab, or I don't know how to call it. Binance mentioned them in one of their articles. So there's interest, people know about this project, but still, in my opinion, it's under the radar. And the thing is that it might stay under the radar because, as I mentioned, we have a lot of competition when it comes to the perpetuals. We have a lot of competition when it comes to DEXs, to layer ones. And this whole project might not even take off. Yes, they have some competitive advantages. As we said, probably the card is the biggest one in their wallet app. However, will this going to be enough for them to reach a critical mass where people know about them and the market cap starts rising and rising? I don't know. It remains to be seen. I'm definitely one that I'm willing to bet, but keep in mind, I still don't have a position in this project. So let's discuss exactly what is my plan going forward. First of all, in order to see the full chart history, we need to go on this website, cointrader.pro, because as I mentioned here, you can see this wick to zero. They had a change in the contracts. And if you go on TradingView, you won't be able to find this chart because it's usually either before the change of the contracts or after them. And that's what I want to see, like the full history. And very clearly, you can see here that it has an accumulation, it had a run up, and it ran up quite a bit, just like a normal, really small cap. However, the big thing is that even here from the lows to the top, it was up like 7,000% already. However, this thing is not dying out. As you can see, it's not a scam that just dropped to zero, and the people behind it are really getting serious about building. And the levels that I'm currently looking at is, I think this one, it's a very major support level that if we break, we'll probably go much lower. However, for now it seems to be holding, and honestly, I'm considering to start dollar cost averaging into this position. However, it wouldn't be a huge size for me. Definitely, it's a really small cap. But realistically, even if you don't want to accumulate this and you want to be patient, even at levels of all-time high here, this will be still a really small cap. So if we're at 10 million right now, 100%, so we will be around $20 million market cap, which is still very low, very insignificant. And in a potential bull run, I definitely could see this hitting way over $100 million market cap. That will probably even be like a place where price will start consolidating, because for these really small caps, 10x is not that unachievable. I'm talking in a bull run, obviously. If we don't have a bull run, that would be a different story. Nothing might happen here, but I honestly don't think it will go to zero. It doesn't seem like it. So even if you put some money, probably you'll be able to get some back. But that's not the goal here. I'm taking the assumption that I'll potentially lose all of my money. However, I'm aiming for a moonshot here. I'm aiming for a 50x, for a 100x. So just keep this in mind and obviously manage your risk appropriately. And if we see this level holding up, I'll definitely be interested in starting a position here. And yeah, let's see how it goes. Let me know what you think about this project, guys. I haven't really covered that many small caps on this channel, but maybe in the future I will. Let's see how it will go. And if you enjoy it, and if you do, or if you don't, let me know. Write me a comment, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, I would love to discuss it further. See you in the next one.